Mel Gibson, a name that instantly sparks recognition, admiration, and, for some, controversy. In Hollywood, few stars have lived lives as dramatic, as turbulent, and as fascinating as Gibson's, from the glory days of Mad Max and Lethal Weapon to the massive success of Braveheart and the storm of scandals that nearly ended his career. Mel Gibson's life has always been a mix of triumph and turmoil, and in 2025, at the age of 69, his lifestyle is still as jaw-dropping as ever. Today, we're diving deep into Mel Gibson's world, the new partner who now shares his life, his massive fortune, the houses he owns, the impressive collection of cars he drives, and, of course, the 9 children who keep his life anything but ordinary. Let's start with the man himself. Born in Peekskill, New York, in 1956, Mel Columcille Gerard Gibson was the 6th of 11 children in a devout Catholic family. When he was just 12, his parents moved the entire family to Australia, a decision that would shape his future forever. Gibson trained as an actor at the National Institute of Dramatic Art in Sydney, and soon burst onto the scene with Mad Max in 1979. It was raw, it was gritty, and it made him an international star almost overnight. Just a few years later, the Lethal Weapon franchise cemented him as one of the biggest action heroes of his generation. But Gibson wasn't content with just being in front of the camera. In the mid-1990s, he directed and starred in Braveheart, a film that became a cultural phenomenon. Not only did it rake in hundreds of millions at the box office, but it also earned him 2 Academy Awards, including Best Director. For a while, it seemed like Mel Gibson had it all: fame, fortune, respect, and the kind of career most actors only dream about. Yet, as the world knows, Mel Gibson's journey wasn't without shadows. The mid-2000s brought scandals, highly publicized controversies, and a fall from grace that made many wonder if he would ever recover. But Mel Gibson is nothing if not resilient. He kept working, both in Hollywood and abroad, slowly rebuilding his reputation. By 2016, his film Hacksaw Ridge proved that his genius as a director was still intact. The movie was nominated for 6 Academy Awards, including Best Director, and won 2. It was a reminder that while scandals may tarnish a star, true talent never disappears. Now, in 2025, Mel Gibson is 69 years old. But retirement doesn't seem to be in his vocabulary. He still acts, still directs, and still takes on projects that interest him. But what makes his life today so intriguing is not just his career, it's his lifestyle, his family, and the choices he's made along the way. First, let's talk about his family. Mel Gibson has 9 children. Yes, 9. His first marriage to Robin Moore lasted nearly 30 years, and together they had 7 children: Hannah, twins, Edward and Christian, William, Louis, Milo, and Thomas. After his divorce, which was one of the most expensive in Hollywood history, Gibson fathered another child, Lucia, with Russian pianist Oksana Grut, and in 2017, his current partner, Rosalind Ross, gave birth to his 9th child, a boy named Lars. Rosalind Ross is a fascinating figure in her own right. A former equestrian champion and writer, she is much younger than Mel, 35 years his junior. In fact, their relationship raised eyebrows at first, but the couple has now been together for nearly a decade. Those close to Gibson say she has brought stability and peace to his life. She's often seen at his side on red carpets, smiling warmly, unbothered by the whispers about their age gap. Together, they live a quieter life compared to the chaos of Gibson's earlier years. And speaking of life, let's talk about where he lives. Mel Gibson's real estate portfolio is over the years, he has owned multiple properties across the world. In Malibu, he once owned a sprawling estate with ocean views, perfect for a Hollywood icon. He has also owned a ranch in Costa Rica, an entire ranch where he could escape from the glare of Hollywood. In Australia, he's had properties that connect him back to his roots. And in the United States, he's invested in homes that reflect both his wealth and his taste for privacy. Cars. Oh yes, Gibson has plenty of those too. As you'd expect from an action star who made his name behind the wheel in Mad Max, Mel Gibson has long had a passion for cars. Over the years, his collection has included luxury brands like Mercedes, BMW, and Lexus, along with some rugged classics that reflect his adventurous spirit. While he doesn't flaunt his vehicles as much as some celebrities, it's safe to say that when Mel Gibson pulls up somewhere, it's rarely in something ordinary. And then there's the matter of net worth. After decades in Hollywood, blockbuster films, and directorial successes, Gibson's fortune is massive. Even after his costly divorce settlement, which reportedly cost him around $400 million, he remains incredibly wealthy. In 2025, his net worth is estimated at around $425 million. Yes, you heard that right. Despite the scandals, despite the losses, Mel Gibson remains one of the richest figures in Hollywood. But money doesn't tell the whole story. What really makes Mel Gibson's life so fascinating in 2025 is how he has chosen to live it. At 69, while many slowed down, he seems to embrace his second chance at happiness. With Rosalind and their young son, he enjoys a quieter domestic life. With his older children, he shares strong bonds, especially with Milo, who who has followed in his father's footsteps as an actor. Despite the ups and downs, Gibson seems determined to be present for his children in ways he wasn't always able to be during the height of his fame, and yet there's still a certain mystery about Mel Gibson. He doesn't give interviews often. He doesn't live his life on social media. Instead, he stays in the background, emerging only when he has a new project or when paparazzi catch him with his family. That air of mystery only adds to his legend. Because with Mel Gibson, you never quite know what's next. Imagine this, a man who once ruled Hollywood, who is praised as one of the greatest actors and filmmakers of his generation, a man whose name was once synonymous with blockbusters, with epic roles, with unforgettable moments on screen, a man who tasted glory at the very top of the entertainment world, and then fell so hard that the world thought he'd never recover. But here he is, in 2025, at the age of 69, living a life that is at once dramatic, complex, and surprisingly human. This is Mel Gibson's lifestyle today, story of resilience, controversy, family, wealth, and survival. Mel Gibson's life has never been simple. It has always been larger than life, filled with extreme highs and devastating lows. When you look at him today surrounded by his 9 children, living in beautiful homes, driving luxury cars, working on passion projects, you have to remember that this is a man who has been to hell and back. And that is why his lifestyle in 2025 is so fascinating. It's not just about the money or the fame, it's about what it all means after nearly 7 decades of triumph and struggle. To understand Mel Gibson today, we have to go back. Born in 1956 in Peekskill, New York, his family moved to Australia when he was just a boy. It was there that he found his path to acting, studying at the National Institute of Dramatic Art in Sydney. Nobody could have predicted what was coming. Mel quickly broke through with the Mad Max series, a gritty, violent, and unforgettable franchise that would catapult him to international stardom. Then came Lethal Weapon, where he became the charming but troubled cop Martin Riggs. By the late 80s and 90s, Mel Gibson wasn't just a star, he was one of the most bankable names in Hollywood. He was everywhere. He could headline action films, romantic dramas, historical epics. He won Academy Awards for directing Braveheart. He was unstoppable, but the same intensity that made him a great actor also haunted his personal life. His career was marked by dazzling success on screen and dark storms off it. Over time, his name became associated not only with brilliant films, but with personal scandals, explosive controversies, and a temper that seemed impossible to contain. There were arrests, lawsuits, leaked recordings, public breakdowns, moments that made headlines worldwide. For many people, it seemed like Mel Gibson's career had ended, that his fall from grace was permanent. But here's the thing about Mel. He doesn't stay down for long. Just when the world thought they had seen the last of him, he began to climb back. By the mid, he returned to directing with Hacksaw Ridge, a film that not only reminded Hollywood of his talent, but earned him another Oscar nomination. Suddenly, Mel Gibson was back in the conversation not just as a cautionary tale, but as an artist with something still to give. That's the Mel Gibson we see in 2025. Older, wiser, scarred, but still standing. Now, let's talk about his personal life in 2025, because this is where his story becomes even more fascinating. At 69, Mel Gibson is the father of 9 children. Yes, 9. His first 7 children came from his marriage to Robin Moore, a relationship that lasted nearly 3 decades. They divorced in 2011, in what became one of the most expensive divorces in Hollywood history, with Mel reportedly paying out more than $400 million. That loss could have destroyed him financially, but Mel's career, longevity, and smart investments kept him wealthy. His older children, now adults, have built their own lives, some of them stepping into careers in the arts, others living away from the spotlight. But Mel has remained close to them, often photographed at family events, showing that despite the chaos of his personal life, he has never stopped being a father. After his divorce, Mel's relationships made headlines again. He had a daughter with Russian pianist Oksana Grigorieva, a relationship that ended publicly and painfully. But in recent years, Mel has found something more stable. His current partner is Rosalind Ross, a writer and former equestrian vaulter. She is decades younger than Mel, but their relationship has lasted since 2014. And in 2017, they welcomed a son together, Mel's 9th child. That's right. At nearly 70, Mel Gibson is still raising a young child. It's a lifestyle that many of his peers can't even imagine. While most men his age are retired, golfing, or spending quiet days at home, Mel is balancing the life of a Hollywood legend with the very real responsibilities of fatherhood. In interviews, he has admitted that raising a young child at this stage of life is both exhausting and deeply rewarding. It gives him energy. It keeps him young. It's one of the reasons he continues to push forward. And let's not forget the wealth. Mel Gibson's net worth in 2025 is estimated to be around $425 million. Despite the massive divorce settlement years ago, he has rebuilt his fortune through acting, directing, producing, and smart real estate investments. He owns multiple properties, including homes in Los Angeles, Costa Rica, and Australia. One of his most famous properties is a massive estate in Malibu, a sprawling compound with ocean views, pools, and luxury amenities. But Mel is not a man who flaunts his wealth in the same way some celebrities do. His houses are not just about showing off, they are sanctuaries. They are places where he can retreat, where he can find peace away from the chaos of Hollywood. For a man who has been through so much public scrutiny, that privacy is priceless. His car collection is another reflection of his personality. Mel has always loved cars, from classic muscle cars to sleek luxury vehicles. In 2025, his garage reportedly includes everything from vintage Mustangs to modern high-performance SUVs. For Mel, cars are not just a status symbol, they're a passion. He has been seen driving around Los Angeles in a variety of vehicles. Sometimes low-key, sometimes flashy, but again, it's not about impressing people. It's about indulging in something he loves. And here's the interesting thing. For all the wealth, for all the luxury, Mel Gibson's lifestyle in 2025 is surprisingly grounded. He's not out at wild parties. He's not constantly in the tabloids anymore. Instead, he spends much of his time at home, with his partner and his young son, while also keeping close ties with his older children. He works on projects that matter to him. He travels occasionally, often to Australia or Costa Rica, but he's not chasing the spotlight the way he once did. After nearly 70 years on this planet, Mel seems to have found a rhythmic balance between the chaos of his past and the peace he craves now. But don't mistake peace for retirement. Mel Gibson is not done. He continues to act in films, often choosing roles that allow him to explore deeper, more complex characters. He is still rumored to be working on new directing projects, including the long-anticipated sequel to The Passion of the Christ, one of the most successful independent films ever made. Even at 16'9", Mel Gibson has more to say as an artist, and he shows no signs of slowing down. If anything, his life experience has given him even more perspective to bring to his work. Think about it. Here is a man who has lived through some of the highest highs and lowest lows imaginable. He has seen the world adore him, and he has seen the world turn against him. He has built an empire, lost a fortune, and rebuilt his career. And now, at 16'9", he continues to stand tall, a survivor in every sense of the word. There are not many in Hollywood who can say that. So, when we talk about Mel Gibson's lifestyle in 2025, it's not just about the houses, the cars, or even the millions in the bank. It's about a man who has lived a life so full, so dramatic, that it almost feels like a movie itself. It's about a father of 9 children, balancing the chaos of a huge family with the desire for peace. It's about a new partner who has brought love and stability back into his life. And it's about a Hollywood legend who, against all odds, continues to write new chapters in his story. In the end, Mel Gibson's lifestyle today is a reflection of his resilience. It's proof that no matter how many times life knocks you down, it's possible to rise again. He may be 69, but Mel Gibson is far from done. And if history has taught us anything, it's that when it comes to Mel, the story is never truly over. Disclaimer: the content in this video is based on publicly available information, media sources, and opinions. It is created for entertainment and educational purposes only. We do not claim or guarantee that every detail is 100% accurate.